Good afternoon, everyone. It is Friday, April 30th, and it is another episode of Fix It Friday. Now, today is kind of a weird day. I just got word that there's all sorts of outages on Facebook. I checked my phone before I went live today, and I was getting the live feed to my smartphone, but I might be doing this episode of Fix It Fridays just by myself, which is just okay with me. Hopefully, you'll be able to watch the pre-recording and get some value out of it. Then, if anyone's out there, let me know you're out there. Please do me a favor and in the chat, let me know you're joining me today. I know there were a bunch of people looking forward to today, so if you are out there, let me know you're there. And if you can't watch it live, I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on with Facebook today. I know I think my brother told me there's like 900 outages or reported outages out there. So clearly something's going on the internet. Hopefully they'll have that figured out. Regardless, this is being recorded and I can always post it later. I also, one other caveat, I know in one of my email blasts, the link to today's event was not the right link. So for those of you who got the wrong link, I do apologize. Hopefully you were able to find this event and be able to join me here today. Okay, well today, before I get into what we're talking about today, let me just, for those of you who are new to Fix It Fridays, and I thank you, those of you who are joining me again today who've been here before, but if you haven't been here to Fix It Fridays, I started end of last year as a 30-minute Facebook Live to help business owners have greater success with their lead generation efforts, their digital marketing, their sales funnels, their video marketing, their follow-up automation, which is what we're going to be talking about today. So, one of the things that I communicated in whether you get my email blast or you find me on social is if you have a business and you're generating leads for your business, how quickly are you following up with them? Are you following up with them within 5 minutes or less? And we're going to talk more about this, and I'm going to show you some examples, some real life examples I went through in the last 2 weeks. And I'm also going to, if time, I'm going to show you behind the scenes how I use it for my clients, as well as if we have time, we'll get into a live demo of the platform. So that's it. So let's get into the slides and jump into this. Again, if you're out there, let me know you're out there because I know that Facebook is having some technical glitches today. But again, on this slide, this is really the areas that I can help support you in. One of the things, reminder, I've been doing a lot of educational content on Fix It Friday, but Fix It Friday is really an opportunity for you to get some real strategic coaching and feedback on your efforts. So if you have an ad campaign or a landing page or a sales funnel, and it's just not working the way you want it to, reach out to me and we can break it down here on Fix It Fridays. I love doing that. So even if it's something you've only been doing for a couple of weeks, let me know. Let's have a conversation. Just PM me on Facebook, or you can email me or reach out to me through my website. But again, these are the areas that I can help cover or help support you in, whether it's video marketing, social media marketing and advertising, pay-per-click ads, that's like Google ads, sales funnels, whether you're doing click funnels or something else, and marketing automation. And that's something we're going to be talking about, or an aspect of that today. All right. So how do you get more leads to turn into customers? That conversion rate, your conversion rate of leads to clients. There's a lot of factors in that. Today, I'm going to talk about one that most businesses are maybe taking for granted. And you're going to see some real data today that will make you think twice about that. So I asked before, or I mentioned before about, how quickly you're following up. It's all in the follow-up. I was working with a business, generating them 12 leads a week. And I asked him how it was going, and he said he had gotten no sales. I asked how many had you followed up with? 0. Well, if you're not following up with your leads, how can you expect them to become sales, right? So it's not only important to have a system for generating the leads, but also a way to convert those leads. All right, so here's some interesting data. This is a study done by Harvard, and they in their study, they found out that most businesses are taking way too long to respond to leads. In fact, only about 37% are following up with leads within 1 hour. Now, here's a very compelling stat, and you can check out, I reference it at the bottom of this slide, but you are 100 times more likely to connect with the lead if you reach out to them in the first 5 minutes as opposed to the first 30 minutes. Not much of a difference. You can imagine what the drop off is after 30 minutes, after an hour, after a day, after 2 days. So it's one thing that you're going to kind of hear me saying over and over again. The faster you get in touch with that lead, the greater chance you have of converting that lead into a sale. In fact, there's a stat, I don't remember where I saw this, but 50% of the businesses that follow up with the lead first typically are the ones that get the piece of business. So something to think about. Okay, so let's go into some real life examples here. So I was looking on Google. This is me personally for a company to deal with some residential drainage issues. I'm having a little bit of water in my backyard. I wanted to find a company to correct this for me, right? No brainer. So I did a Google search. This was one of the companies I found. As you can see on their landing page, or actually this is their website, request an appointment in this yellow area in the upper right corner. I clicked on that. There's an opt-in form, beautiful, filled out that information. I saw where they are on the map. They're very convenient to me, okay? I also found this company, very similar website, do similar services. Again, in the upper right corner, in the red box, free estimate. Again, if you're out there, anyone has questions, just let me know you're out there listening. Hopefully Facebook isn't being a problem for you today. Again, I clicked on that button, takes me to their contact form. I filled that out. I saw where they're located. All right, I'm going to show you. These are the 4 reaches I did. I just showed you these 2 companies that I found on Google from Google search, Landwork and Northern Construction. I also reached out to my landscaper, the guy that has been cutting my grass for years. Via text, I did that. And then I also reached out to a friend who I knew her husband is somewhat in this space, and I thought he would either be able to recommend someone or he could help me directly. So these first 2 were through opt-in forms on websites. The lower 2 are on text. Here is the results of that to this very moment. First one, the first contractor, didn't respond to me until 23 hours later. Northern Construction, 47 hours later. My landscaper, the one who knows me and I've been paying for years, hasn't responded yet. 67 hours to this point, no response, no text response, no phone call. The friend, 19 hours. So all of these, the shortest time was 19 hours. Now the average, based on that Harvard study, I think it was 43 hours, something like that, in the 40s. So roughly about 2 days, the typical business is taking to follow up with a lead. Now, right now, I'm already in conversations with the friend, and I found out that this upper one, you have to pay for an estimate, and they're 2 weeks out. And Northern, we're now playing phone tag. Okay, so just some interesting real life example. Let's go into another example here. Let me just slide this down here. Here's another real life example. Now, this is going to be kind of the other side of the equation in terms of lead follow-up. So again, I was looking on Google for a company, in this case, to help my son with math tutoring. Okay, so I went onto Google. Here's the Google search I did, how to find a math tutor. And this is, and I'm going to pull up my pen here. I want to show you guys some things here. So these, as you can see, show the word ad, ad. These are all paid advertisements. And as you can see above the fold, which is without me scrolling, this is all I see. I used to be very anti Google ads, but I'm a big fan of them right now. And if it wasn't for a Google ad, the company that I hired would not have gotten hired. So one thing I want to point out is that when you set up a Google ad really nicely, you get this second section here. You don't only get this kind of ad section that you see here, which is similar to here with these other 2 ads, but you get this other section. Now, what was really compelling to me was they had, this is kind of an adjoining town to where I live, but Lincolndale, I really like that it was private one-on-one tutoring. And my son's in college, so college math tutors, these were all home runs for me. Well, guess what? As you can see that this is purple here, this is what I clicked on, and I didn't go any further. So let's go a little further and I'll show you exactly what happened. It's pretty incredible to see kind of me as the consumer as opposed to the marketer. So went to the page. It's a landing page, a single page website, very simple. Again, some things to point out here for any of you building landing pages. Hold on a second. Let's get my pen up again. Okay. Again, geo targeting here. These are dynamic websites. This is pretty cool. Most companies are not doing this, but very cool to have. Very compelling headline, subheadline, and a nice big red button. And below it, 100% tutor satisfaction guarantee. They have some, in terms of credibility, they've got a lot of credibility down here. So a lot of good signs. It's clean. It looks nice. That resonated with me. So let's continue and see what happened. So I click that red button and it takes you to their opt-in form, which has these great questions. Who do I need the tutor for? How soon do I need a tutor? What's my name? What's my email address? What's my phone number? And then it took me to an appointment page. Well, this was actually no, 2 weeks ago, Saturday night. It was about uh, 7 o'clock or so, 6:30, 7 o'clock. And this was literally minutes before my wife and I were going out for dinner. So I didn't want to get into the whole appointment thing. And I did what's kind of called in the industry more in the retail side or the e-commerce side, cart abandonment. At this point, I left. I closed my computer and was gone. Now, the thing to note again, remember, and let's just go back to my slides, they had my phone number, they had my email address, and they had my name at this point, even though I didn't schedule an appointment. And so here we have Varsity Tutors. What do you think their response time was? Check this out, 8 minutes. We're actually driving to dinner. And on our drive, I see a phone call from 914 area code where I am. So it looks like a local number. I didn't know what it was, but I was driving. I'm not answering the phone. And I get to the restaurant and I look at who the call is from. It's from Varsity Tutors. They saw that I was on their website. They saw that I didn't schedule an appointment, but they had my contact information. They could pick up the phone and call me. We hired this company the next morning. Now, one thing I did following this was also interesting is once you find a company, you want to vet them. And sure enough, the next morning before my wife made the appointment to speak with them, um, I did some due diligence and I looked for reviews. And guess what they had on their website? Video testimonials. And that was really what sealed the deal for me. And we moved forward with them. A little rocky to start, but actually had a great experience working with them. My son had found a good tutor finally, and it worked out great. So, two real life examples. Observe these in your own life. See how other businesses are doing this when you're looking for a product or service. And see what people are doing it right, see what people are doing wrong, copy the good stuff, forget about the bad stuff. So let's talk about this a little bit further. So why were they able to respond to me in 8 minutes when most businesses are taking hours, if not days? And you want to be thinking about how long it takes you to respond. So no, businesses struggle, as it says in this slide, to follow up with leads within 5 minutes. Now, why is that? Well, there are a couple of reasons, or there's several reasons for that. I've kind of identified a few here. Number one, most of us, we're busy in our business or our team, whether we're a solo entrepreneur or we have a small team, we're all just doing everything else that's running the business. So one of the problems is that we're just working in our business, we're not aware. The other is you don't know you have a lead. The typical company has that contact form or the opt-in form. You fill it out and basically an email shows up in your inbox. Well, we're not looking at our inbox all the time. Again, we're working in our business. So we don't even know the minute that a lead is in our inbox. And then we don't know that, we don't have a reliable notification system. We don't have a way that's telling us that without going and actively looking. Okay. So follow-up automation. What is follow-up automation? That's what we're going to be talking about today. It's technology that we all have access to. Some of it you might have it as it relates to email marketing. So when you build a drip campaign and people respond or click on something, you're able to change. That's That's marketing automation, specifically around email. What I'm talking about with follow-up automation is technology that allows you to send an email, send a text message, send a voicemail message, even initiate a phone call, all automatically, all based on artificial intelligence. Seems like I'm not seeing any comments out there today, so it looks like I'm continuing to be talking to myself, but hopefully you're watching this in the recording and getting some value out of this. If you do join later and Facebook figures out what's going on, jump on, let me know your questions. You always can reach out questions in the comments afterwards, and I'll do my best to follow up with you. All right, so let's continue. So follow-up automation, there are many applications for this. So let's go over this real quick. And let's go back to my pen. So this is a big one. This is what I use with all my clients. Any client I'm doing lead gen on is I'm making sure that I have a system in place that the minute that someone fills out an opt-in form or makes a phone call or sends a text message or even sends a message through Facebook, they know about that immediately and can jump on it. Now, it's great for automations, great for scheduling appointments, whether you're using it to schedule the appointment or remind people that they haven't scheduled an appointment. This is great about that side of it. And then once they have an appointment, the last thing you want is someone makes an appointment to speak with you or come to your office or meet you or whatever, and then they're a no-show because out of sight, out of mind. Well, certainly if you're using platforms like Calendly or Setmore or any of these different platforms, that tends to be built in. But with certainly the software that I use, you can completely customize and personalize that in a way that you can't find anywhere else. Now, a big one, and I talked about this in one of my email messages, was taking and optimizing or following up with dead or inactive leads. I mentioned a friend of mine who has a painting business, and he implemented follow automation, just this one, just following up with dead and active leads with just one of his salespeople. And in a month period of time, was able to close an additional $80,000 in business without generating any new leads. This was with all leads that had come in and not had executed in the initial contact, and went back and was able to re-engage those potential leads and turn them into business. Huge, huge opportunity. This in itself is fantastic for businesses. So if you're not doing that, referral campaigns. This is great to get your clients that love you to refer you and create campaigns around that. And then certainly if you have customers that kind of gone dormant, you can certainly use follow-up automation. Again, whether it's texting, or texting is the most powerful way to go, because people respond to those. They look at them immediately. They have a high open rate. I think it's over 95%, where email is anywhere 15 to 25%, and people look at it right away. So hopefully this gives you some ideas for your business. Even if you just implemented one of these, what would that mean for your business? Let's continue. So this is what a potential follow-up sequence looks like. I like a multi-touch approach in multiple different modalities. So let me just walk you through this and help you understand what you're looking at here. So this is time across the bottom here, this line. Let's do it this way. This line here represents time. So at the beginning, someone fills in an opt-in form on your website or from an ad, and I'll show you something that looks like that. So this is what happens immediately. 5 minutes later, 1 day later, 3 days later, and then 5 days later from this point in time. So someone fills in an opt-in form. What do I usually do? I usually send an email to that person, and I usually send a text message. I find that, with all of the spam filters and whatnot, I might send an email and they don't see it. It goes into some spam folder. So if I try to get a text, I try to get a cell phone number, a mobile phone number from someone so I can send the text. I know they're going to get it and see it and respond to it right away. Then if you're being somewhat aggressive, if it's an aggressive opportunity, this is not for everyone. I can even have the follow-up sequence initiate an outbound phone call, where literally your phone rings, it's being driven by the AI, and it says I'm going to connect you to this lead, and you don't even have to know the number. It immediately connects you with the lead. And then what's really cool about this is if you get no answer and you hang up, the system knows and will automatically leave a voicemail message that you've already scripted and crafted and is pre-recorded, and it just drops in and goes into their phone, right? So that's 5 minutes later. Again, and at any point there's an engagement, this entire sequence stops and it moves to somewhere else. So we don't want to be bombarding people. We want this to feel real and as authentic as possible all the way through, and that it isn't AI driven. So we want it to stop the moment that someone either calls us back or sends us a text message. But again, if still the person has filled in the opt-in form and they haven't communicated back in any way, a day later, we're going to try another phone call. So the system will automatically call us and say, hey, want to connect you with this call? If you don't, you just hang up. And guess what? In this case, it's now going to send a text message. So you get the hang of it. So in day 3, again, if no response, an outbound call, and we'll leave a different voicemail message, and we'll send another email at this point. And in day 5, again, if we still haven't heard, system will trigger another phone call. It will send an email, and if not, no answer, it will send a text as well. And so again, this can be configured and customized to each business. This is just an example of what is possible. I just want you to see the complexity that you can have and just the diversity you can have. And you can change the frequency. You can change a lot of this stuff. And if we have time, I can take you behind the scenes and show you that. But actually on this next slide, you can kind of see a little demo. This will actually show you, I'll let this play. And this is all being driven by AI. So the first text message goes out. The real person responds. Based on their response, another text message goes out. They respond again. That message is driven by them. And you can see the dynamic information in that in terms of when they booked, it puts their booking information in there. They respond again. And you can go as deep and as long as you want with this. And then boom, the phone call. So that's just kind of an example of strictly a text-driven follow-up sequence. Is very powerful, very effective. I even got confused the other day. I thought my client was texting someone, and it was actually the system because it looked that convincing. All right, so let's keep going here, just managing the clock a little bit. Again, I don't see any responses out there, so I guess everyone will be watching this in the recording. But here's an example with a client of mine. This is a lead generation example. So at the front of the funnel, we are using Facebook and a Facebook ad. This is a video ad that drives to a landing page. One of the things, a couple of things to point out as it relates to landing pages really quick, and let me get my pen out. One thing I've done here is I've added some urgency with a countdown, and this is a real countdown as opposed to a fake one. This one is controlled by the IP address. We've got a headline. We've got some short bullet point copy. We've got an offer and a button. You can even see the guarantee, and we have basically a video sales letter here on the page to help even build even more trust. So that's the landing page. That, of course, goes to a opt-in form. We capture their name, email address, and phone number. And then on the back end, here you can see kind of the back end in terms of the AI. We see here that once that form is submitted, and this is the specific form, there are other steps here, but one of the things that is happening is the system is texting my client and sending this piece of information that this particular person just filled out that campaign just to make her aware of what's happening. There's other steps to this process to trigger and get that person to schedule an appointment, but that is the first step in terms of the trigger. If we go to the next slide, here you can see some of the automation like you saw on that slide earlier, and I will go back to my pen real quick, and you will see here immediately after someone fills out their form, they are sent an email, and you can't really see the email copy here, but you can see that we're getting data here. What's also important is not only have systems like this, but know your data. We can see that 100% saw it, only 2/3 of the people clicked. Then 3 minutes later, we send a text message to them, okay? And then 2 days later, we send another email to them. And as you can see, people's emails, as much as it's delivered, not everyone is opening that email, right? So that's why we want to be you want to get that cell phone number if you can, hugely valuable. Okay, well, let's take you behind the scenes and let you understand what I'm using. So you want to use it in your own business, by all means. I didn't invent the software, but so if the software that I use is called High Level. There's other platforms out there. I particularly love this one. There's probably two software packages that I've fallen in love with over the years. One is FileMaker Pro as a database software. High Level is the number two in my list. Amazing platform, and I'm going to show you why. And again, if you want a 14-day free trial, you want to, kick the tires and give it a try yourself, reach out to me and I'll give you the link to a 14-day free trial. So happy to help you out in that regard. But let's talk about it a little further here so you can understand. So what's available in a platform like High Level? Well, number one, as you can see in my bullets here, you can actually build an entire website right in this platform. I use it mostly to build landing pages. I have built a website in it and building sales funnels. If you want to do a survey, instead of using SurveyMonkey, you can do that in here. To make these opt-in forms, you can build that all in here. You don't have to go elsewhere. Scheduling appointments, you can build that. That's available right in the platform. I'm working with a laser hair, as you saw a minute ago, the laser hair removal boutique out in Long Island. All of their appointments are being built inside a High Level. Follow-up campaigns, I've been talking about that all day today. All of those campaigns, all that automation, all those triggers built inside a High Level. You want to collect payments. You can integrate payments, whether you're doing an online course, whether you want someone to pay for a service in advance, all that can be built in the platform. Hopefully you're realizing suddenly this one platform can probably eliminate 5, 6, 7 other applications you're using right now. And also what's, I think, probably the most important for a business is that there's a dashboard. You actually can see how this is performing for you. You have analytics. You saw a little bit of that even in the campaign in terms of the emails and text messages, what they're seeing, what they're opening, etc. Let's continue. So check this out. This is really going to blow your mind in terms of if you're doing email marketing, you can do that through High Level. If you're using MailChimp, I think this is Active Campaign, you can do that right in High Level. SMS marketing, you can't do that in Active Campaign. Or maybe you can in Active Campaign. I don't think you can do it in MailChimp. To be able to send messages or drip campaigns through text message, you most likely need another application. If you're building sales funnels, big fan of ClickFunnels, you have a lot of that built right into this platform. If you're building a website, in Wix or you're using WordPress, you can do that right inside the platform. Call tracking, I think that's important. I'm able to see all the phone call exchanges, whether a client is reaching out or a customer is reaching out to my client or my client is reaching out to my customer. You can see that. So if you want to see how your sales teams are performing, you have access to that. I talked about surveys. This is, I think, WooForm. I forget some of these others. I think this might be Google Forms, but forms can be built in this. I told you about, so if you're using Calendly or some other program to schedule appointments, I do it all now through this platform. CRM, everyone's talking about pipeline. I think this is Pipe Drive maybe. So if you're using a CRM, you got that all on here. I'm going to skip over the app. I mean, it is app driven too, so you can use this through your mobile phone. The tracking, I talked about that a minute ago. You can build a course inside this platform. And then one of the things I like about reputation management is you can integrate your Facebook and your Google right into the platform, and you can see all the comments people are making right in one place. You could even respond to them in one place. Really powerful. So if any of this stuff means anything to you, you're using some of these things, you might want to consolidate that and use a platform like this. So let's clear that. You're probably wondering, well, what does this actually cost? Well, I'm going to tell you. So if you're just wanting to use something like this for yourself, talking about basically $100 a month. If you look at all the different platforms you're using right now, I bet you're even paying more than that. I use the unlimited account for myself and my clients. It's a great deal at any price. I will say that High Level is not for the faint of heart. If you're not into technology and figuring all this stuff out, it is, I won't say it's certainly not easy. I might not say it's extremely complicated, but it is somewhat challenging to understand how to set all these things up, make sure they're working flawlessly. I know with my account, I get great customer service. I'm able to schedule calls and get tech support. I think with the agency, the starter account is purely only email support only. So I don't know whether that will work for you. But hey, again, I can help you with that directly if you need some help with this. But here are some options. I'm showing you exactly what I use. Hopefully this is helpful for you. Let's continue. So you want to learn more about high level or follow-up automation or how to integrate it in your business? Reach out to me. Give me a test. Go to my website, fill out my form, see how long it takes me to respond to you. Okay. My website is all built on top of high level. We can even show you that in a minute here. How are we doing on time? Basically at 30 minutes. And being that I'm spending this whole day today talking to myself, so we're going to go back live to camera here. So being that I've kind of done this presentation really for myself because I don't think anyone can access this through Facebook today, I'll put this up pre-recorded. And if people really like this, I'll even go behind the scenes and do like a real life demo to show you how high level is working. Maybe I'll use my website as an example. But I hope you found this helpful. It's really important. I mean, the real takeaway from today is that you need to be responding to leads as quickly as possible, preferably within 5 minutes of them contacting you. It's going to, all the statistics, all of the studies show the faster you respond, the greater your chances are. So if you're getting leads into your business and you're not converting a lot of them, this is something that will transform that for your business. And if you don't want to leverage AI, marketing automation or follow-up automation, as I'm demonstrating to you today, and you don't want to invest in something like high level, find a company like myself that offers that service to clients. You can integrate it really into any place you want, but you can do it yourself. You can do it, old fashioned. Just be, monitoring your emails all the time, monitoring your text messages. But the reality is we're so busy in our businesses, it's really hard to stay on top of this. And I love that when I get a text message and I see that I have a lead in my funnel, I know what's happening. I know they're getting reached out. I love it when I see that they've scheduled an appointment. That's really powerful for a business. You're basically streamlining your business, you're delegating some tasks, and you're going to have greater success with your sales conversations and have more wins. So I hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions about this, put them in the comments on this video. Reach out to me, personally message me, go out to my website, try calling that phone number or going on or filling out the contact form on my website. Again, I'm here to support you and have you have greater success in your business, whether it's your digital marketing or your sales conversions. Again, this is David Vogel. It's Fix It Friday. I want you to have yourself a great weekend, and I will catch you in a couple weeks on the next episode of Fix It Friday. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.